Listen closely, because what I am about to tell you is not a soft whisper of comfort. It is a roar from the depths of faith itself. There are moments in life when you look around and it feels as though something has been stolen from you. Your peace taken, your opportunities taken, your relationships, your confidence, your strength, your sense of self taken, and you wonder, where did it go? Who touched what belonged to me? Why does my heart feel emptied by forces I cannot even see? But hear this truth with unshakable conviction: God will give you back what was taken. Not just replace it, restore it, not just return it, multiply it, not just mend what was broken, rebuild it stronger than it ever was before. What left your hands did not leave the sight of God. What slipped from your life did not slip away from God's control. You have never lived a day when God did not know exactly what you lost, exactly who harmed you, exactly what injustice crushed you, and exactly when He planned to give it all back. There are seasons when the enemy thinks he has succeeded, when people believe they have walked away with victory over your spirit, when circumstances seem to mock your prayers, when hardship whispers that your story is over. But God is the one who writes the final chapter. God is the one who determines what is permitted and what is restored. God is the one who steps into the very place where loss tried to bury you and declares, "Now I will show you what divine restoration looks like." You see, when God restores, He does not restore according to the measure of your pain. He restores according to the measure of His power. And His power has no limit. Some of you have lived years feeling as though something precious was stolen from you long ago. Your childhood, your innocence, your dreams, your joy, your peace of mind. But hear this today, with all the force of heaven behind it, God has not forgotten one tear, one betrayal, one injustice, one wound, one silent cry that no one else heard. God remembers every loss, but He also prepares every restoration. And when God restores, He restores at the appointed time, not too early, not too late, but at the moment when His glory will shine the brightest. You might feel empty now. You might feel like life has taken more than it ever gave. But God specializes in divine reversals. God waits until the valley seems too deep, the night too long, the desert too dry, so that when restoration breaks forth, there is no confusion about where it came from. God restores in a way that humbles every enemy and lifts you to a place where even you must say, "This was God's hand alone." You may have lost years, but God returns seasons. You may have lost relationships, but God returns purpose. You may have lost strength, but God returns power. You may have lost hope, but God returns vision. Nothing is beyond His reach. Nothing is beyond His ability. Nothing is beyond His plan. There is a divine law written into the fabric of existence itself. When God allows something to be taken from your life, it is because He intends to give back more than what was removed. You are not being emptied to die. You are being emptied to be refilled. You are not being stripped to be weakened. You are being stripped to be repositioned. Loss is not the end. Loss is preparation. The moment something leaves your life, God begins preparing what will replace it. The question is not whether God can restore you. The question is whether you will trust Him while He prepares the restoration. Some of you are in that place right now, the in-between, the waiting zone, the silent season where nothing seems to change, and the temptation is to believe that what was taken will never return. But God does not operate according to what you see. God operates according to the destiny He wrote for you before your first breath. You are not forgotten. You are not ignored. You are not abandoned. You are in the hands of the one who brings back what was lost and adds far more than what was taken, because God does not give back the same way people return things. Humans return with reluctance. God returns with abundance. Humans return just enough. God returns more than enough. Humans return when they feel generous. God returns because restoration is part of His very nature. When God returns something to you, it is not a transaction, it is a transformation. You will not simply receive what you lost. You will rise with a deeper strength, a clearer purpose, a sharper discernment, and a faith that cannot be shaken by anything that tried to break you. Every loss you endured was seen by God. Every sacrifice you made was recorded by God. Every season where you kept going, even though you felt empty, was honored by God. And now God is preparing to give back what was taken, not just in quantity, but in quality. You see, what you lost may have been good, but what God will return will be divine. What you lost may have been comfortable, but what God will return will be purposeful. What you lost may have been familiar, but what God will return will be extraordinary. There is a spiritual truth that few understand. The enemy can only take what God allows, and God only allows what He intends to transform. That means the very thing the enemy used to break you is the thing God will use to build you. The very loss that wounded you is the loss God will use to elevate you. The very pain that made you cry is the pain God will use to strengthen you. What was taken was not the end of your story. It was the preparation for the chapter where God restores everything. There comes a moment when a person must recognize that what was taken from them did not disappear into darkness. It was placed into the hands of God for transformation. You may think loss means absence, but in the realm of God, loss often means repositioning. Something may have left your life suddenly, painfully, without warning, but God does not operate in chaos. Even what appears stolen has been intercepted by God for a greater purpose. This is why you must not misinterpret your season. Sometimes God allows something to be removed because He intends to elevate you to a level where that old thing could not go. Some relationships were taken because the next season requires peace, not chaos. Some opportunities were taken because your destiny requires focus, not distraction. Some of your strength was taken because God wanted to rebuild you with a power that does not come from your own hands, but from His presence alone. When God restores, He does not begin with the outside. He begins with the inner structure of your spirit. Before anything comes back physically, God strengthens you spiritually. Before anything is returned in your hands, God expands your capacity to carry it, because God will never give back what will overwhelm you. God will never return something before you are prepared to manage it. Many people ask for restoration, but they do not realize that restoration begins with transformation. God is not only giving back what was taken, God is shaping you into someone who can walk boldly, wisely, confidently, and fearlessly with what is coming. Think about this. Sometimes what was taken had to be taken because you were holding on too tightly to something that was too small for the size of your calling. God sees the version of you that you have not yet met. God sees the path you have not yet walked. God sees the strength you have not yet discovered. And because of that, God may remove something you thought you needed, only to return it in a form you never imagined. You thought you needed acceptance, but God intends to return identity. You thought you needed comfort, but God intends to return purpose. You thought you needed certain people, but God intends to return destiny. What was taken is not gone. It is evolving in the hands of the Almighty. Many of you do not realize that the moment something was taken from you, something else began to awaken in you. Loss can create hunger. Pain can sharpen focus. Emptiness can increase spiritual sensitivity. God sometimes allows what you relied upon to be removed so that you will discover a reliance on Him that no loss can ever shake. Because God does not want you to simply recover. God wants you to rise. God wants you to stand with a strength that was born from the fire of adversity. God wants you to see that you survived what should have destroyed you, and therefore you are already living proof that divine restoration is on the way. There is a spiritual law that few understand. When you lose something in faith, the next version of it always returns with greater power, greater clarity, and greater purpose. Loss without God breaks people. Loss with God builds people. Loss without God creates fear. Loss with God produces wisdom. Loss without God causes bitterness. Loss with God births transformation. God is shaping you through every season where something was taken, not to punish you, but to prepare you, not to weaken you, but to refine you, not to leave you empty, but to make room for what is greater. The reason the restoration will be greater than the loss is because God never returns things in the same condition. God does not give back the way the world gives back. God returns with increase. God returns with intention. God returns with a divine signature that leaves no doubt that the blessing came from Him alone. This is why you must not despair when something is taken. Instead, you must tune your spirit to what God is building in the unseen. God is not only restoring what you lost, God is elevating your entire life to a higher plane of purpose. There is a moment in your spiritual journey when you realize that the things taken from you were never meant to define you. The real treasure was not what was removed. The real treasure is who you are becoming through the process. You are being shaped into someone who cannot be broken by circumstances, destroyed by people, or defeated by adversity. God is forging a version of you that carries wisdom beyond your years, discernment beyond your experience, and strength beyond your natural capacity. And once God completes this inner transformation, the restoration that follows will not just be a blessing, it will be a revelation. You will look back on what was taken and realize it was not loss, it was divine redirection. You will see that God allowed the removal because He was preparing an arrival. You will understand that the emptiness you felt was not abandonment, it was preparation for fullness. And when God begins returning what was taken, it will not enter your life quietly. Restoration from God comes with a force that shifts your environment, elevates your confidence, and silences every voice that doubted you. This is why you must remain steadfast in this season. You are closer to restoration than you think. You are nearer to divine reversal than your circumstances suggest. God has a time for everything, a time for planting, a time for pruning, a time for losing, and a time for restoring. Your time of restoration is approaching with the certainty of dawn. What left your life is on its way back, but in a form so magnificent that even you will be startled by the abundance of God's plan. There will come a moment in your journey when you begin to sense that what was taken from you is already moving in your direction again. Not because of chance, not because of human effort, but because God has breathed upon your life with divine intention. You will feel a stirring, a quiet shift, an inner awakening that tells you something is changing. This is not wishful thinking, it is spiritual alignment. It is the awareness that heaven has opened a door the world cannot close. When God signals restoration, your spirit feels it before your eyes see it. You suddenly find strength where there was exhaustion, clarity where there was confusion, peace where there was turmoil. That is how God begins His return, by restoring the inner world before transforming the outer one. Many people expect restoration to begin with visible results, but God begins with invisible renewal. He strengthens the mind that felt weary. He calms the heart that felt broken. He breathes courage into the soul that felt defeated. God knows that before He gives you back what was taken, He must prepare you to walk in the fullness of what is coming. You are not being ignored, you are being equipped. You are not being delayed, you are being refined. You are not being denied, you are being realigned with the destiny God has already written for you. And when God restores, He does not simply hand back what was taken. He elevates you to a place where the loss no longer holds power. The past becomes a reference, not a prison. The wound becomes a lesson, not a limitation. The betrayal becomes a pathway, not a barrier. You are no longer defined by what was taken. You are defined by the God who is returning it. And this shift is critical because restoration is not merely about recovering things. It is about reclaiming identity. God is returning your confidence, your dignity, your voice, your courage, your authority, your sense of worth. What was taken may have been tangible, but what God returns is transformational. Some of you think restoration means going back to what once was, but God never leads you backward. God leads you forward. You are not returning to an old season. You are stepping into a new one. You are not getting back the old version of what you lost. You are receiving the divine upgrade. That relationship that was taken, God will return peace, not chaos. That opportunity that was taken, God will return purpose, not confusion. That time you feel you wasted, God will return maturity, not regret. Restoration is not a return to the familiar. It is an elevation into the extraordinary. And you must understand this, God never wastes your pain. The tears you cried watered the soil of your destiny. The nights you spent praying were recorded in the unseen realm. The losses you carried silently became seeds for future power. Nothing you endured is meaningless. Nothing you suffered is forgotten. Nothing you lost is beyond restoration. God knows how to collect every fragment of your brokenness and transform it into a masterpiece of strength and faith. You may not see the purpose now, but when the restoration comes, you will understand why the loss had to happen. For there is a depth of intimacy with God that is forged only in seasons of loss. When everything is taken from you, when you have nothing left to hold on to, you finally realize that God is the one who sustains you, strengthens you, and carries you. In that moment of vulnerability, something shifts inside of you. You stop depending on what can be taken, and you start depending on the one who cannot be moved. God uses loss to detach you from illusions and attach you to truth. God uses emptiness to draw you deeper into His presence. God uses silence to sharpen your spiritual hearing. And when that transformation happens, restoration becomes inevitable, because God does not restore to reward you. God restores to reveal you. When restoration arrives, you will see a version of yourself you never knew existed. A version that walks with unshakable faith, because nothing in this world has the power to break what God has rebuilt. A version that carries wisdom, because you have seen firsthand how God lifts, guides, and protects. A version that knows how to stand firmly even when life tries to push you down. What was taken did not destroy you, it awakened you. What was taken did not reduce you, it refined you. What was taken did not end your story, it positioned you for a chapter filled with divine favor and unstoppable momentum. And as God prepares to return what was taken, He will also expose why it had to leave. Some things were removed to protect you from unseen dangers. Some people were taken out of your life to save you from future harm. Some opportunities closed so that a greater door could open in perfect timing. God does not permit loss without purpose. You may have cried over what left, but one day you will thank God it did, because the restoration that follows will show you that the loss was necessary for your elevation. This is why you cannot look at your life through the lens of what was taken. You must look at your life through the lens of what God is about to return. The loss is temporary. The restoration is permanent. The setback is momentary. The comeback is inevitable. The sorrow is passing. The joy will overflow. And when God returns what was taken, it will not come quietly. It will come with weight, with abundance, with divine authority, with spiritual force. Every area where you felt robbed will become a place where you testify to the power of God. Some of you have been walking with wounds that felt too deep to heal, carrying emptiness that felt too heavy to bear. But God is saying to your spirit even now, I am not finished with your story. I will give you back what was taken, not as a possibility, not as a distant hope, but as a divine certainty. God has already ordained the restoration. You are standing on the edge of a breakthrough that will redefine your life. You may not see it yet, but the unseen realm is already shifting. The blessing is already moving. The return is already unfolding. God is already working behind the scenes, arranging, aligning, preparing, and positioning everything that belongs to you. And when the day comes, and it will come, when God releases the restoration you have been waiting for, every battle will make sense, every tear will be worth it, every loss will be redeemed. You will stand in the fullness of what God has returned and realize that nothing was truly taken, everything was transformed. There is a point in your spiritual journey when you must look beyond the visible and trust that God is orchestrating something far greater in the unseen. What was taken from you did not vanish. It was repositioned by divine hands. God has a way of removing what you thought was essential only to reveal that it was limiting you. God has a way of allowing something to be taken, not because you were unworthy, but because He was preparing a version of you that could handle what is far greater. The world may see loss, but God sees construction. The world may call it a setback, but God calls it a foundation being laid for something extraordinary. When God is preparing to return what was taken, He often begins by shifting your perspective. The way you saw your past changes. The way you interpret your hurt transforms. What once felt like an ending begins to look like a turning point. You start to realize that the loss was not the conclusion, it was the catalyst. God never lets something be taken unless He intends to bring you into a higher realm of strength, clarity, and purpose. You start to see that everything you thought was breaking you was actually shaping you into someone capable of carrying greater responsibility and greater blessings. And understand this powerful truth. When God restores, He restores with justice. There is no restoration without divine justice. This does not mean vengeance on people. It means alignment with God's order. It means that what was unfair will be corrected by a God who sees everything. It means that every unfair season will be repaid with divine fairness. God never overlooks one moment where you were wronged, mistreated, denied, or overlooked. God has kept record not to burden you, but to restore you. When the return comes, it will be with a justice that silences every injustice that ever touched your life. You may not see the full picture of why certain things were taken, but God does. God sees the future you cannot yet access. God sees the dangers you did not recognize. God sees the road beyond the bend where you have not yet walked. Sometimes God allows something to be taken because keeping it would have destroyed you. Sometimes God allows someone to walk away because their presence was delaying your destiny. Sometimes God allows your plans to fall apart because He was protecting you from building your life in a place that could not sustain your calling. The challenge is that during the season of loss, you often do not see the protection, only the pain. For what feels like defeat is often divine direction. God will let what is temporary be taken so He can give you what is eternal. God will let what is fragile be removed so He can give you what is unbreakable. God will let what was flawed disappear so He can give you what is refined. This is not random, this is precision. God never subtracts without planning a multiplication. Do not underestimate the importance of what God has been doing inside of you during this season. You have been growing even when it felt like you were collapsing. You have been strengthening even when you felt broken. You have been rising even when you felt buried. God has been stretching your spiritual capacity, deepening your resilience, and sharpening your discernment. You are not the same person who experienced that loss. You are wiser, more aware, more grounded, and more aligned with God's purpose. And because of that transformation, the restoration that is coming will not crush you. It will crown you. You must realize that divine restoration is not only about getting back what you lost, it is about stepping into a new season where what was taken becomes irrelevant. You will no longer mourn what left, because what returns will overshadow every past sorrow. God never returns blessings with regret. He returns blessings with glory. You will not say, I miss what I lost. You will say, thank God it left, because what came after was far greater. The pain will no longer define you. The betrayal will no longer haunt you. The disappointment will no longer control you. You will stand in a new dimension of strength, fully aware that God used every loss to elevate your life to a higher place. And as this restoration unfolds, God will also remove the residue of what was taken. God will heal the wounds you carried, even the ones you hid. God will clear the emotional shadows that lingered long after the loss occurred. God will free you from the fear of losing again. Restoration is not only the return of what was taken, it is the renewal of who you are. God does not want you to carry the spirit of loss into your new season. God wants you to carry the spirit of victory, confidence, and trust. The restoration is not complete until your inner world matches the blessing God is releasing around you. Because when God gives you back what was taken, it will not return in the same condition. God does not give back broken pieces. God does not return damaged goods. God does not restore by recycling the old. He gives you something greater, stronger, more aligned, more powerful, more suited for your destiny. What returns will be something the old version of you could not have handled. That is why you endured the wilderness. That is why you endured the stripping. That is why you endured the emptiness. God was preparing you for the blessing you are about to receive. And hear this with unwavering certainty. Restoration is the signature of God's faithfulness. If God allowed it to be taken, then God has already ordained the day it will return. You are not waiting for restoration. Restoration is waiting for the appointed moment to meet you. The unseen realm has already shifted. Your name is already attached to the blessing. The future has already been written with your restoration in mind. God is moving pieces, aligning circumstances, opening doors, closing harmful pathways, and preparing hearts, all so that what belongs to you will come back in perfect timing. In the moment of divine return, you will not only receive what was taken, you will receive understanding. You will see the wisdom in the timing, the purpose in the loss, the protection in the removal, the strength in the waiting. You will look back and say, if I had not lost that, I would not have discovered this. You will say, if that had not been taken, I would never have been ready for what God is giving me now. You will say, what I thought was loss was actually preparation. There is a spiritual truth that cannot be overstated. God's restoration is never ordinary. Whatever was taken from you may have seemed significant at the time, but what God is preparing to return will far exceed human expectations. It will not simply replace what was lost. It will elevate you to a level of blessing, influence, and authority you never imagined. When God returns, it is not merely restitution, it is revelation. The restoration will reveal not only what belongs to you, but also who you are in God's plan, the depth of God's care, and the power of unwavering faith. Some of you have endured seasons where people doubted you. Opportunities slipped through your hands, and life seemed determined to keep you from your purpose. Yet in those very seasons, God was at work behind the scenes, arranging the pieces, closing doors that would have distracted you, opening doors that would align perfectly with your destiny, and preparing a restoration so complete it will silence every voice that once told you that your life was over. God's restoration does not announce itself quietly. It arrives with unmistakable authority. It is a divine statement that declares, what was taken is returned, and it comes multiplied, refined, and victorious. Understand this clearly. Loss is temporary, but God's favor is eternal. The temporary nature of loss is designed to teach you reliance, patience, and faith. God allows seasons of taking to sharpen your spiritual sensitivity, to cultivate humility, and to expand your capacity to receive the greater blessings that await. Those who give up, despair, or compromise in the waiting period often miss the fullness of what God intends. But those who remain steadfast, who refuse to let loss define them, who anchor their hearts in God alone, these are the ones who will experience restoration in its fullest glory. And the timing of God's return is always perfect. Restoration never comes too late, never too early, never under conditions that would be harmful. God's timing is precise, calibrated to ensure that the moment of return carries maximum impact. What you lost at one moment may have felt devastating, but in the wisdom of God, that timing created space for your spirit to grow, for your vision to expand, for your faith to solidify. Nothing in your life happens by accident. Every loss, every tear, every challenge was placed within a divine framework, designed to prepare you for the restoration you are about to receive. Some of you are waiting for relationships, opportunities, health, financial provision, or peace to return to your life. But understand this, God's restoration is comprehensive. It is not limited to one area. It touches every part of your life that was affected by what was taken. It restores joy where sorrow once dwelled. It restores confidence where doubt had taken root. It restores purpose where direction was lost. It restores connection where isolation prevailed. And in the process, God transforms the very essence of your life, so that when the restoration comes, it is unmistakably a work of divine power, not human effort. And here is another truth you must carry deeply in your spirit. The restoration you are about to receive will be accompanied by insight and discernment. You will no longer be vulnerable to the same mistakes that caused the loss in the first place. God equips those He restores. He does not return without preparing you to steward what comes back. You will enter the restoration fully aware, fully alert, and fully empowered to protect, grow, and multiply what God has placed back in your hands. The return will not just recover what was lost, it will elevate your capacity to receive, expand, and exercise authority over your blessings. Do not allow temporary absence to cloud your vision of God's promise. The enemy wants you to focus on what is gone, to question God's timing, to forget the power of faith, and to doubt the certainty of restoration. But God's word, His wisdom, and His perfect plan declare otherwise. Every tear is recorded. Every injustice is remembered. Every moment of silent endurance is honored. And every bit of what was lost is being prepared for return that will glorify God and testify to the unshakable faith of your spirit. Some of you may feel fear. Fear that the loss is permanent. Fear that you are too broken. Fear that what was taken cannot be returned. But God is saying to you now, do not fear, for I am the God of restoration. What was stolen from you, what slipped from your grasp, what life seemed to take unfairly, none of it is beyond my reach. I am not constrained by human limitations. I am not delayed by circumstances. I am not bound by what others do or fail to do. I am God. I see all. I know all. I restore all. And what I restore is more powerful than what was lost, more perfect than what was taken, and more enduring than anything this world can touch. And so you must stand strong. You must cultivate patience, perseverance, and faith in the unseen. You must walk with confidence even in the void, trusting that God is aligning everything for your return. Your job is not to question, doubt, or rush the timing. It is to remain faithful, vigilant, and obedient in the current season. Because when God returns what was taken, it will not just be returned, it will arrive as a declaration of God's power, God's justice, and God's unwavering commitment to you. God is moving in ways your eyes cannot yet see. God is preparing doors that cannot be forced open. God is orchestrating blessings that cannot be fabricated. God is bringing back what was lost, and in the process, God is revealing to you the depth of His faithfulness, the magnitude of His power, and the glory of His plan. Trust the process, trust the timing, trust the one who holds your past, your present, and your future. Restoration is coming, and when it comes, you will know it is God, not by chance, not by circumstance, but by the unmistakable fingerprint of divine intervention. So now, hear this with every fiber of your being. What was taken from you is not lost forever. The season of emptiness, the moments of pain, the struggles that seemed unending, all of it has been witnessed, measured, and held in the hands of God. Nothing has escaped His sight, nothing has slipped beyond His control, and nothing has been forgotten. God is orchestrating your restoration with precision, purpose, and power. What you mourned, what you questioned, what you feared was gone. God is preparing to return it, and it will come in a way that surpasses your imagination, exceeds your expectations, and transforms your life entirely. You must not look back in regret or forward in fear. You must remain steadfast in faith, unwavering in hope, and bold in trust. The waiting season is not punishment. It is preparation. The silence is not abandonment, it is alignment. The struggle is not rejection, it is refinement. Every trial has been the forge for your spirit, shaping you into a vessel capable of carrying the abundance God is about to pour into your life. When restoration comes, it will arrive with authority, clarity, and confirmation. Every doubt will be silenced. Every tear will be redeemed. Every loss will be outweighed by the magnitude of God's provision. And in that moment, you will recognize the divine hand that orchestrated and everything. The hand that removed, the hand that strengthened, the hand that waited patiently, the hand that returns with blessings beyond measure. So stand now with courage. Hold fast to the truth that God will give back what was taken. Walk boldly through this season, knowing that nothing has the power to defeat the one who is under the care of Almighty God. Every injustice will be corrected, every gap will be filled, every emptiness will be overflowed. God is faithful, God is just, God is powerful, and God is already moving to restore, multiply, and elevate every part of your life. Believe it. Receive it, declare it. The return is coming, and when it comes, it will testify to the greatness of God, the resilience of your spirit, and the unstoppable reality that no loss can overcome the divine power that watches over you. What was taken will return, not just restored, but gloriously, abundantly, and forever aligned with the destiny God ordained for you from the very beginning. Do you feel the weight of the world pressing down on your shoulders? Do you lie awake at night, heart racing, mind consumed with worry about what tomorrow might bring? Listen carefully, because I want you to hear a truth so powerful that it can change your life in this very moment. God will take care of you. Not maybe, not if things go well, not only when the circumstances are convenient or easy. He will take care of you completely, perfectly, unwaveringly. And the moment you grasp this, the chains of fear and anxiety begin to break. The pressure of life begins to lift. The storms of doubt begin to scatter. You do not need to figure everything out. You do not need to manipulate, push, or fight to make life go your way. God is in control, and He is already working on your behalf, even when you cannot see it. Too many people live as if God is distant, as if the Almighty has forgotten their existence, as if the divine care is reserved only for others, for the lucky ones, for those who seem to have it all together. That is a lie. God's care is not conditional. God's care is not based on your performance, your intelligence, your charm, or your ability to please others. No, God's care is born from His eternal wisdom and His unshakable love. He knows your heart. He knows your struggles. He knows the battles you cannot tell anyone about. And He is already working invisibly, relentlessly on your behalf. You must understand something crucial. Worry is a form of rebellion. When you worry, when you allow fear to dominate your mind, you are in essence telling God, I do not trust you. I believe I must take control because you cannot handle this. But God is saying, child, lay it down. Give me your fear. Give me your burden. Stop striving and watch me move. He's not asking for your life to be perfect before He steps in. He's asking for your surrender. And in that surrender, you discover freedom. In that surrender, your spirit is lifted above anxiety. In that surrender, your heart begins to beat with confidence and peace because you are no longer carrying the weight alone. Do you know why so many people fail to experience God's care? It is not because He is unwilling. It is because they refuse to trust. They are looking at their problems with human eyes and forgetting the infinite power of the Almighty. Let me be clear. No circumstance is too large. No problem is too complicated. No enemy is too strong. The same God who created the universe, who holds the stars in their place, who commands the winds and waves, is the same God who is watching over you. The very God who brought order from chaos, light from darkness, life from nothing, is actively arranging your path. Can you not trust Him with your daily bread? Can you not trust Him with your heart? Can you not trust Him with your future? Worry tells you that you are alone. Fear whispers that no one cares, that your efforts are meaningless, that your suffering is endless. But God speaks a different language. He whispers, I am here. I see you. I am with you. I am working on your behalf. Even when you cannot feel His presence, even when life seems unfair, even when doors close one after another, God is at work. And the amazing thing is this: often, the blessings He sends are hidden behind what looks like struggle. Often, the victories are disguised as delay. Often, the protection comes in ways you would never recognize until later. Trust that He knows exactly what you need, when you need it, and how you need it. Let me tell you something that will hit you in your soul. Worry is not just harmless thinking. Worry is theft. It steals your peace. It steals your strength. It steals your joy. And yet, God wants to give you an abundance of peace, strength, and joy, more than you can imagine. He wants you to rise above the petty anxieties that crowd your mind and claim the fullness of His care. He wants you to walk with a light step, not a heavy heart. He wants you to face the storms of life with courage, not with dread. And the key to this, the absolute key, is surrender. Total, unwavering, unshakable surrender. Say to yourself, God, I will stop worrying. I will trust you. I will believe that you are taking care of me. And watch what happens. When you surrender, something miraculous occurs. Your perspective changes. You begin to see that what once seemed like chaos is actually order. You begin to realize that what appeared to be loss is actually protection. You begin to understand that the difficulties you face are not punishments. They are divine orchestration, shaping you, strengthening you, preparing you for blessings that no human mind could contrive. God is taking care of you, even in ways you cannot comprehend. Your eyes may not see it, your heart may not feel it, but the truth remains: God is faithful, God is relentless, God is your provider, your protector, your guide, your refuge. There is no problem too small for God to care about, and there is no problem too large for God to solve. Do not diminish His ability by limiting Him with your imagination. Do not measure His power by your human reasoning. Do not reduce His wisdom by comparing it with your plans. The Almighty sees the end from the beginning. He knows what will happen in your life before a word is spoken. He has not forgotten you. He has not abandoned you. And He will not fail you, ever. Think of the times in your life when you were certain that things would fall apart, and yet they did not. Think of the moments when you felt hopeless, and yet somehow you survived. That was God taking care of you. That was God's unseen hand moving in your favor. That was a divine protection that you could not explain. And He will do it again and again and again, and He will continue to do it for as long as you live. Your life is not subject to chance. Your life is not left to random circumstance. Your life is in the hands of the Almighty, and that is enough. That is more than enough. You might be thinking, but my struggles are so intense. My challenges are so overwhelming. I don't know how I can survive this. Listen to me. God has equipped you to survive it. God has given you what you need to overcome it. God is already moving on your behalf, even before you take your first step. He is sending resources you cannot yet see, people you have not yet met, opportunities you have not yet imagined, but He will not force His help on you. You must stop worrying. You must release control. You must trust, and when you do, life will shift in ways that seem impossible. Your mind might tell you to panic. Your heart might try to convince you that everything is lost. But that is the enemy speaking. That is the voice of doubt, fear, and anxiety trying to steal your faith. Refuse it. Say firmly, no, I will not listen. I will not worry. I will trust God. He is my provider. He is my protector. He is my refuge. And when you speak these words, your life will begin to change. Your perspective will rise. Your strength will grow. Your heart will be lifted above fear. I want you to see this clearly. God does not want you to be burdened with worry. He does not want you to live in fear. He does not want you to carry the weight of the world on your own shoulders. That is not His plan. His plan is that you walk in peace. His plan is that you trust. His plan is that you rest in the knowledge that everything is under His control. When you truly understand this, you will no longer chase after temporary solutions. You will no longer panic at every obstacle. You will no longer feel the crushing pressure of doubt. You will stand firm, knowing that God is your eternal support, your unwavering refuge, your unfailing guide. And here is something even more powerful. When you stop worrying and begin to trust, God can do things in your life that you never imagined. He can open doors you thought were closed forever. He can provide resources when none seem available. He can turn situations around, creating beauty from what once seemed broken. He can protect you from dangers you cannot perceive. He can guide you through paths you would never dare to walk alone. But all of this requires one thing: trust. Not a little trust, not partial trust, complete, absolute, unshakable trust. You may say, but I have failed. I have made mistakes. I am not perfect. Listen to me carefully. God's care is not based on your perfection. God's love and providence are not limited by your flaws. You are human. You will make mistakes. You will stumble. You will face setbacks. But God's care is relentless. His plan for your life is not deterred by your failures. He sees beyond your mistakes. He sees your heart. He sees your potential, and He will continue to take care of you, guiding you, correcting you, providing for you, even when you feel undeserving. Understand this truth deeply. The moment you decide to stop worrying is the moment you align yourself with God's power. Your mind may scream, I cannot do it. The problem is too big. But that is exactly the moment when faith must rise louder than fear. God's ways are higher than your ways, and His plans are beyond your understanding. The very thing you panic over, the very challenge that keeps you awake at night, is exactly where God intends to demonstrate His power and faithfulness. You cannot manufacture the solutions that God can provide, no matter how clever or strong you are. But when you surrender, when you say, God, I trust you with this, the invisible becomes visible, the impossible becomes possible, and the heavy burden becomes light. Many people live their lives as if they must carry every burden alone. They toil, struggle, and fight, believing their own hands are the only ones capable of providing. Yet God is saying to you today, your labor is not your life. Your worry is not your protection. My care is sufficient. I am already working behind the scenes, orchestrating events, placing people, opening doors and closing others, all in perfect timing to bring you to the place of abundance, peace, and victory. Do you believe this? Do you truly believe this? Because the moment your heart accepts this truth, a supernatural peace will settle over you. Consider the life of one who trusts God. They walk forward with boldness, not because the path is clear, but because their trust is unwavering. Their steps may tremble, their circumstances may challenge them, yet their spirit is anchored in the assurance that God is watching, guiding, and providing. This is not naive optimism. This is powerful, deliberate faith. This is the posture of a soul that knows the Almighty is their shield, their provider, and their ever-present help in every trouble. And let me tell you, When your faith reaches this level, worry becomes meaningless. Fear becomes powerless. Anxiety loses its grip. You rise above the chaos because God is carrying you, sustaining you, protecting you. Do not mistake God's silence for abandonment. When life seems quiet, when answers seem delayed, when prayers seem unheard, that is not absence, that is preparation, that is divine orchestration. God is aligning the pieces, orchestrating circumstances, arranging relationships, and preparing opportunities. Often the blessings arrive not when we demand them, but when God sees the timing is perfect. And timing is everything. Trust in God's timing, trust in His wisdom, trust that He knows the end from the beginning, and that no matter how uncertain things appear, His plan is flawless. There is a lesson in every struggle. There is wisdom in every delay. There is growth in every season of waiting. Do not despise the wait. Do not resent the challenge. Do not allow your heart to become bitter in the midst of testing. God is not punishing you. God is not neglecting you. God is refining you, preparing you, equipping you for the blessing that is coming. The storm you face today may feel unbearable, but it is in that storm that God reveals His strength. It is in that storm that He demonstrates His care. It is in that storm that He molds you into the vessel capable of receiving everything He has prepared. Imagine a life free from the chains of worry. Imagine waking each day with peace so profound that no circumstance can shake it. Imagine stepping into your day with confidence because your trust is in God, not in fleeting solutions or temporary human plans. This is not a dream. This is your reality. When you embrace the truth, God will take care of you fully, completely, reliably. Nothing is too great, nothing is too small. Every detail of your life is under His divine care. And when you live with this understanding, your life becomes a testimony of God's faithfulness. Do not underestimate the power of surrender. Many people pray, yet they continue to worry. Many people ask for God's help, yet they cling to their own understanding and control. But God does not work fully where there is hesitation. God does not move powerfully in a life that resists His guidance. The key is full surrender, hands lifted in trust, heart open in faith, mind released from fear. When you release control, God steps in. When you let go of worry, God takes over. When you choose faith over fear, God demonstrates His power in ways that leave you in awe. Listen carefully. God's care is not passive. God's care is active, relentless, and personal. He knows your fears. He knows your doubts. He knows the very thoughts that trouble your mind, and He is already moving in response. Your prayers, your cries, your silent longings, nothing escapes His notice. He is arranging people, resources, opportunities, and timing with precision beyond human comprehension. You do not see the work, but you will see the results. And the results will be far beyond what you could imagine or plan for yourself. Consider this: worry never solves anything. Anxiety never changes a circumstance. Fear never secures a future. Only faith in God brings lasting peace, provision, and protection. When you trust Him, you align yourself with the power that created the heavens and the earth. You align yourself with the one who holds time and space in His hands. You align yourself with the eternal, unshakable, limitless care of the Almighty. And in that alignment, life's trials lose their power. Life's pressures lose their weight. Life's uncertainties lose their terror, because God is with you. God is for you. God will take care of you. And here is something vital to remember. Trust is cultivated in the trials. Faith is strengthened in the challenges. Surrender is proven in the storms. The greater your difficulty, the greater the opportunity for God to display His care. Do not shrink back when life seems impossible. Do not give in to despair when obstacles appear insurmountable. Instead, stand firm knowing that God is at work. His hand is in the details. His eye is on the outcome. His heart is committed to your well-being. And no matter what you face, He will never fail you, never abandon you, and never leave you to struggle alone. You may feel fear creeping in. You may feel doubt whispering lies into your mind. But remember, worry is not from God. Fear is not from God. Anxiety is not from God. They are tools of distraction designed to keep you from trusting the one who holds all power. Reject them, renounce them, refuse to let them dominate your thoughts. Replace them with truth. Replace them with faith. Replace them with the unshakable knowledge that God is taking care of you right now at this very moment and will continue to do so for the rest of your days. God's care is not a theory. It is not an abstract idea. It is not something that only applies to a select few. It is a living, active, present force in your life. It is protection that surrounds you. It is provision that meets your needs. It is guidance that leads you through complexity. It is power that opens doors and removes obstacles. And the most incredible part, it is freely given. You do not have to earn it. You do not have to prove yourself. You do not have to manipulate circumstances. You simply have to trust. You simply have to surrender. You simply have to believe. You must understand the power of divine care. God's attention to your life is not casual, not accidental, not passive. He is actively involved in every detail, even the ones that seem insignificant to you. The food you eat, the breath you take, the people you meet, the opportunities you encounter, none of this is left to chance. God is orchestrating every moment. He is arranging circumstances in ways that your mind cannot comprehend. And when you grasp this truth, your worry begins to evaporate, your heart begins to settle, and your spirit begins to rise. For what is worry, after all, but disbelief in the power and providence of God? When you truly believe, fear loses its foothold. Anxiety cannot take root. The storms may rage around you, but you stand firm, anchored in the knowledge that God will take care of you. Life often presents situations that feel impossible, challenges that seem insurmountable, and obstacles that appear undefeatable. But listen carefully, the very situations that terrify you are the arenas where God's power shines brightest. When you're backed into a corner, when every human solution has failed, when the path forward seems blocked, that is when God moves in ways that surpass imagination. The same God who separated the heavens from the earth, who commanded the seas to obey, who holds time and destiny in His hands, He is the same God who watches over you. And He is already working unseen and unstoppable to bring victory to your life. Do not underestimate God's timing. We are often impatient, frustrated that our prayers are not answered according to our schedule. But God's timing is perfect. He sees the end from the beginning. He knows what is necessary before it even arises. There is wisdom in waiting, power in patience, and blessing in trusting the timing of the Almighty. What appears to be a delay is often a preparation. What appears to be a closed door is often a protection. What appears to be a setback is often a redirection towards something far greater than you can imagine. Trust in God's timing, and you will experience a peace that surpasses understanding, a calm in the chaos, and a joy that no circumstance can steal. Consider the heart of a person who trusts in God. Even in the face of uncertainty, they do not panic. Even when surrounded by difficulty, they do not despair. Their confidence is not in human strength, in manipulation, or in temporary solutions. Their confidence is in the Almighty. Their faith does not waver because their circumstances are harsh. Their peace does not falter because the world seems unstable. They have discovered a secret that many never learn. Worry is powerless where faith is present. Anxiety is defeated where trust in God is complete. Fear cannot prevail where surrender is total. You may have experienced moments when everything seemed to fall apart, when you felt abandoned, when hope seemed like a distant memory. And yet, here you are. You survived, you endured, you overcame. That is the hand of God at work. That is divine care manifesting in ways you could not see at the time. And it is the same God who is taking care of you now, orchestrating your life in ways that are both protective and providential. No prayer goes unheard. No plea is ignored. No struggle is too small, and no trial is too great. God's care is complete, constant, and everlasting. It is vital to understand that worry and faith cannot coexist. Worry is the evidence of distrust. Faith is the evidence of belief. You cannot fully embrace God's care while simultaneously doubting His providence. You must make a choice. You must say, God, I will stop worrying. I will trust you. I will believe that you are taking care of me. And when you make that declaration, you unleash a supernatural peace into your life. You step into a reality where God's protection shields you, where His provision sustains you, and where His guidance illuminates your path. There are countless areas of life where God's care is manifest. In your finances, when resources seem scarce. In your health, when your body feels weak. In your relationships, when misunderstanding threatens. In your career, when doors appear closed. And in your spirit, when doubt seeks to take hold. In every area, God's attention is precise. His intervention is powerful, and His provision is timely. And here is the truth you must internalize. You do not need to orchestrate these outcomes yourself. You do not need to strain, manipulate, or struggle to make things happen. God is already working. Your task is simply to trust, to surrender, and to allow His care to manifest. Do not fear the unknown. Do not dread the future. Do not allow anxiety to consume the present. The same God who has cared for you up to this moment will continue to care for you tomorrow, the next day, and every day that follows. His hands are not weary. His mind is not distracted. His heart is fully committed to your well-being. When you place your life into God's care, you experience a freedom that cannot be shaken, a joy that cannot be stolen, and a peace that surpasses all understanding. Listen closely. The Almighty's care is not passive observation, it is active intervention. He moves before you see, arranges before you understand, and provides before you ask. Nothing is random, nothing is overlooked, nothing is too small for His attention. Every tear you shed, every worry you carry, every prayer you utter is known to Him. And He is already turning your circumstances, protecting you from harm, providing what you need, and guiding you toward the future He has prepared. Faith does not mean that life will be without challenges. Faith means that you do not face those challenges alone. Faith means that no matter the struggle, the outcome is secure because God is taking care of you. Faith means that you walk through the storm with courage because the storm is not bigger than the one who holds the universe in His hands. Faith means that you rise above fear because God's power is greater than any human circumstance. You may wonder, how can I trust when life seems chaotic? The answer is simple. Remember what God has already done. Remember the victories you have witnessed, the challenges you have survived, the blessings you have received, those are proof of His care. Those are evidence of His provision. Those are testimonies that the same God who was faithful before will continue to be faithful now. And as you trust, you create a space for God to work in ways that exceed your imagination. Your worry does not add a single day to your life. Your anxiety does not solve a single problem. Your fear does not change a single outcome. But your trust in God does everything. Your faith opens doors. Your surrender invites provision. Your peace strengthens your spirit. Your confidence aligns you with God's eternal plan. When you live in this truth, worry has no power. Fear loses its grip, and anxiety is replaced by a joy that is unshakable. You may ask yourself, how can I be sure God is truly taking care of me? The answer is written in every detail of your life, in every moment that you have survived, in every difficulty you have overcome. The very fact that you are here, breathing, thinking, and able to face another day is proof of God's care. Every obstacle you have faced and yet endured is evidence that His hand has been upon you. Every door that seemed closed but eventually open is a testament to His providence. When you begin to see life through the lens of God's care, worry begins to shrink, fear begins to fade, and peace begins to take root in your soul. God's care is not reactive, it is proactive. He is not waiting for you to fall apart before He moves. He is orchestrating your life even as you sleep, even as you struggle, even as you doubt. He is arranging circumstances, sending people, and opening opportunities that you cannot yet perceive. And the truth is, many of the things that seem like obstacles are actually blessings in disguise. The delays, the struggles, the closed doors, they are protection, they are preparation, they are God's way of ensuring that when the blessing comes, you are ready to receive it fully. Do not underestimate the power of prayer, even when it feels unanswered. Every sincere prayer, every whisper of your heart, every tear that falls in desperation is noticed by God. Nothing escapes His attention. Even when it seems as though He is silent, He is listening. Even when it seems as though nothing is changing, He is moving. His care is not always obvious, but it is always active. And when the time is right, when His plan reaches its perfect season, the provision will arrive in ways that exceed your imagination. Let me tell you something important. Worry is a weight that God never intended for you to carry. Anxiety is a burden that was never meant to rest on your shoulders. You were designed to live in peace, confidence, and freedom because God is your provider, your protector, and your sustainer. When you try to manage life through human effort alone, you exhaust yourself, you become overwhelmed, and you invite despair. But when you release control to God, when you surrender worry and embrace trust, something supernatural happens. Strength rises in your spirit. Clarity comes to your mind. Peace floods your heart, and life begins to move in a direction that aligns with God's perfect plan. There is a profound difference between human planning and divine provision. Your planning is limited by what you can see, what you can imagine, and what you can control. God's provision is limitless, unseen, and perfectly timed. He can create opportunities out of impossibilities. He can open doors that no human hand can unlock. He can provide resources in ways that surpass natural understanding. And here is the truth that must sink deep into your soul. You cannot make God's plan happen by worrying. You cannot accelerate His timing by stressing. You cannot improve His outcome by panicking. The only thing you can do is trust, surrender, and walk confidently in the knowledge that He is taking care of you. Consider the storms of your life, the challenges that seem relentless, the pressures that feel unbearable, the trials that seem never-ending. These are not signs of abandonment. They are not proof that God has forgotten you. They are opportunities for God to display His power, to reveal His care, and to teach you reliance on Him alone. The winds may howl, the waves may rise, and the night may feel dark, but the one who holds the universe in His hands is guiding your steps, protecting your path, and preparing a future that is far greater than anything you could orchestrate yourself. Your trust is the key that unlocks God's power in your life. Without trust, fear dominates, anxiety rules, and worry prevails. With trust, peace becomes your inheritance, joy becomes your companion, and victory becomes inevitable. Faith is not passive. It is an active choice to believe in God's care, even when circumstances suggest otherwise. It is a deliberate decision to release control, to stop striving, and to stand confidently in the knowledge that God is already at work, orchestrating everything for your good. Do not allow temporary setbacks to shake your faith. Do not allow temporary difficulties to cloud your vision. Every challenge, every obstacle, every trial has a divine purpose. God is refining you, strengthening you, preparing you for the fullness of His care. What may feel like delay is often divine timing. What may feel like hardship is often divine protection. What may feel like rejection is often divine redirection. The Almighty's care is perfect, complete, and never failing. And when you align yourself with it, your life begins to move in ways that surpass human understanding. You may have moments when fear creeps in. You may have days when doubt whispers lies into your heart. But remember this, worry does not come from God. Fear does not come from God. Anxiety does not come from God. These are tools of distraction designed to pull you away from the truth that God is taking care of you. Stand firm, reject fear, renounce doubt, refuse anxiety, and replace every anxious thought with the powerful truth. God is my provider. God is my protector. God is my sustainer. The Almighty's care is not conditional. It does not depend on your perfection, your strength, your intelligence, or your efforts. It depends on His love, His wisdom, and His power. You do not need to earn it. You do not need to deserve it. You do not need to prove yourself. You simply need to trust. You simply need to surrender. You simply need to align your heart with the knowledge that God is actively working on your behalf. And when you do, your life is transformed. Peace replaces anxiety. Joy replaces despair. Strength replaces weakness. And the impossible becomes possible. Even in the most uncertain circumstances, God's care is a constant. Even when doors close, His provision is open. Even when resources seem insufficient, His supply is abundant. Even when obstacles appear insurmountable, His power is limitless. And the most incredible truth is this: God is not bound by time, by circumstance, or by human limitations. He moves freely, acts powerfully, and provides fully for those who trust Him. You were created to live a life free from the chains of worry. You were designed to walk in confidence, to step boldly, to face challenges with courage, and to rise above fear. God's care is the foundation of that life. It is the reason you can endure trials, overcome obstacles, and thrive in every season. It is the reason you can face uncertainty with peace and live with hope, even when the path seems unclear. When you fully embrace the reality that God is taking care of you, your perspective changes, your priorities shift, your heart is lifted, your mind is free, your spirit soars. The burdens that once seemed unbearable become lighter. The challenges that once seemed impossible become opportunities. The fears that once held you captive lose their power, and you step into a life of faith, confidence, and divine alignment that no human power can shake. So hear me now and let it settle deep into your heart. God will take care of you. Not partially, not sometimes, not when it is convenient, but fully, constantly, relentlessly. Every detail of your life is in His hands. Every fear, every worry, every uncertainty is already known by Him and already being managed by His power and wisdom. There is no situation too complex, no challenge too great, no enemy too strong, and no circumstance too dark that God cannot handle. Release the burden of control. Lay down the weight of anxiety. Stop striving to fix what is already under the care of the Almighty. Trust Him. Surrender to Him. Walk forward in the confidence that every step you take is guided, every path you follow is protected, and every plan He has for you will come to fruition at the perfect time. Peace will flood your soul. Joy will rise in your spirit. Strength will fill your heart. And as you embrace this truth, you will experience a life unshakable, unstoppable, and deeply anchored in God's care. Know this: your past struggles, your present challenges, and even your unknown future cannot diminish the love, power, and provision of God. He is your protector when danger surrounds you, your provider when resources run dry, and your guide when the way is unclear. He sees, He knows, He acts, and His care for you is unfailing. So, I command you in faith, do not worry, do not fear, do not doubt. Stand firm, surrender fully, and trust completely. God is taking care of you. He has not forgotten you. He has not abandoned you, and He will never fail you. Walk in this truth today, tomorrow, and every day of your life. Let your heart rest in the certainty of God's eternal care, and live boldly, courageously, and faithfully, knowing that you are fully protected, fully provided for, and deeply loved by the Almighty. When I tell you that God is about to reload your bank account, I do not speak as someone offering empty encouragement. I speak as someone declaring a spiritual reality that is already in motion. Listen carefully, because this moment is not ordinary. This moment is divine. This moment has been orchestrated by God long before you even felt the pressure, long before you felt the lack, long before you stared at the balance in your account and wondered how you would survive the next month. God saw it. God heard every private prayer. God measured every silent tear. And now God is preparing to shift you into a realm of provision that your mind cannot fully grasp today. You may think this is just another message, but I assure you it is your personal prophetic announcement. Something invisible is moving in your favor, and your life is about to witness a financial transformation that will silence every fear that ever tried to intimidate you. There are moments in life when God steps into your story with such force that everything resisting you trembles. This is one of those moments you have been carrying burdens that were too heavy for one person to bear, yet God kept you standing. You survived days when your heart felt crushed and nights when your thoughts consumed you. You survived anxiety, scarcity, disappointments, delays, and people who never believed in you. And because you endured, God is preparing a release that will shock even you. God is about to write a chapter in your life that will prove you were never forgotten, you were never abandoned, you were never disqualified. God simply hid you until the time was right to reveal what has been prepared for you. Some of you have been living with the weight of financial pressure for so long that it feels normal. You've normalized the struggle, normalized stretching every currency note, normalized checking your account twice, hoping it magically increased, normalized silence when your heart wanted to scream. But hear me, carrying the weight of financial hardship was never meant to define your identity. It was meant to define your dependence on God. It was meant to shape your character, sharpen your faith, and stretch your trust. You have been trained in the fire so you can handle the blessing when it arrives. God does not give big blessings to unprepared hands. God strengthens the vessel before releasing abundance. And now you have reached the moment where your capacity has outgrown your circumstance. That means blessing is near. When God says your bank account will be reloaded, it does not mean a simple increase. It means a divine reset. It means God is restoring what was lost, replacing what was stolen, and multiplying what was delayed. Some of you lost money in ways you still do not understand. Opportunities slipped away, investments collapsed, people who promised support never delivered. Unexpected bills consumed your savings. Plans you thought would lift you financially were interrupted before they even began. Yet none of it was wasted. God took inventory of every financial wound, and every loss has been recorded in the ledger of heaven. Nothing skipped God's attention. Nothing will go uncompensated. When God reloads, it comes with interest from the unseen realm. It comes with restoration attached. It comes with a spiritual compensation package that no earthly system can deny you. You may look at your life and think God has been silent regarding your finances, but silence from God is not absence from God. Silence is strategy. Silence means preparation. Silence means God is lining things up behind the scenes, adjusting details, shifting environments, and setting divine appointments. God's silence is never empty. It is full of motion. It is full of intention. God has been preparing a blessing that aligns perfectly with your purpose, your timing, and your future. And when the timing of God meets the readiness of your spirit, a financial breakthrough becomes inevitable. Nothing can stop it. No enemy can block it. No circumstance can delay it. When God releases, it arrives with unstoppable force. You have to understand that God does not bless randomly. God blesses strategically. There is a pattern to divine provision, and part of that pattern involves pressure. You felt pressured not because you were forsaken, but because you were being positioned. Pressure creates clarity. Pressure reveals what you truly trust. Pressure removes what is not meant to go with you into the next season. Pressure forces your spirit to lean on God more than your understanding. Some of the greatest financial blessings God releases come after the most difficult seasons of financial testing. The test was developing the discipline required for the blessing. The storm was shaping the mindset required for your next level. And the scarcity was training your spirit to rely on God alone. Now that the training has done its work, God is about to respond with abundance. Many people think abundance begins with money, but abundance begins in the spirit. Before God fills your account, God fills your faith. Before God multiplies your income, God multiplies your expectation. Before God releases external provision, God strengthens your internal capacity to receive. You are stepping into a moment where your spirit is aligning with your blessing. Your faith has been stretched. Your endurance has been built. Your perseverance has been tested. You have prayed, waited, survived, and grown. You have outlasted situations designed to break you. Now you are spiritually positioned to receive what you could not have handled before. God does not release abundance to fragile faith. God releases abundance to believers who have been fortified through fire. Some of you are not even aware of the doors God is about to open for you. Because when God reactivates financial flow, it rarely comes from only one source. God opens unexpected channels. God orchestrates divine connections. God brings opportunities you did not apply for, ideas you did not plan, favor you did not anticipate. God bypasses human systems and introduces you to spiritual supply lines that produce results no economy can block. You may think money only comes through your job, your business, your skill, or your network, but when God steps in, limitations break. God is not restricted to earthly pathways. God can bring increase from places you never considered. God can use one idea to fund your entire future. God can use one connection to shift your whole financial reality. God can use one moment to reverse years of struggle. You must prepare yourself mentally and spiritually for the shift that is coming. Because when God reloads your bank account, it won't just be for your comfort, it will be for your calling. God blesses with purpose. God does not empower you financially just to elevate your lifestyle. God empowers you to elevate your destiny. The resources coming to you are connected to your assignment. You will have the means to do what God placed in your heart long ago. Dreams you paused will come alive again. Plans you delayed will gain momentum. Responsibilities you couldn't fulfill before will now be handled with ease because God is equipping you for the next dimension of your life. Many of you have vision that exceeds your provision, and that imbalance has frustrated you. You see big, you think big, you dream big, yet your bank account has not reflected the magnitude of what God placed in your spirit. But understand this, God always gives vision before provision. God plants desire before delivering the resources. The dream is the sign that the blessing is coming. Your spirit saw the future before your finances caught up. And now your finances are about to align with what God already showed your heart. The resources will match the revelation. The supply will match the assignment. The provision will match the purpose. You must not allow your current balance to dictate your future expectation. Your account today is not your account tomorrow. Your situation today is not your situation next month. God can transform a financial landscape in ways that defy logic and reasoning. You have seen people rise financially overnight, not because of luck, but because of divine orchestration. What God did for others is evidence of what God can do for you. You are not exempt from the blessing. You are not excluded from abundance. You are not outside the reach of divine provision. God's hand is not limited, and God's resources are not scarce. God owns what you need and more. And when God decides it is time, the release is undeniable. There is a spiritual principle you must hold on to with everything in you. God does not leave a faithful person empty-handed forever. When a person has walked through deserts, God brings them to rivers. When a person has endured drought, God brings them rain. When a person has remained steadfast in times of scarcity, God rewards them with overflowing provision. You have been faithful. You have kept going even when it made no sense. You trusted God with nothing in your hand, and now God is about to trust you with something in your hand. God honors persistence. God rewards endurance. God responds to unwavering faith. You did not give up. That alone qualifies you for a blessing. And now, as God prepares to reload your bank account, something greater is happening within you. Your mindset is transforming. Your confidence is strengthening. Your faith is maturing. You are beginning to understand that provision is not the result of human effort. It is the result of divine alignment. When your spirit aligns with God's timing, breakthroughs unfold naturally. You do not have to chase what God has already assigned to you. You do not have to beg for what God already promised. You do not have to force what God has already prepared. You only have to position yourself to receive, and the blessing comes towards you with its own momentum. This is why you must stay in expectation. Expectation is a spiritual magnet. When you expect increase, you attract increase. When you expect opportunity, you recognize opportunity. When you expect financial elevation, your actions, decisions, mindset, and atmosphere shift to match what God is preparing. Expectation activates the flow of provision. It opens the door for God to move in ways you have never seen before. Step into this next season with bold expectation, and you will witness the financial expansion God has ordained for you. And now, open your spirit in faith, because your financial story is about to change with the power of God guiding every step. And when I tell you that God is about to reload your bank account, I am not speaking about a temporary uplift or a momentary financial spark. I am speaking about a sustained flow, an ongoing divine current, where God turns what was once dry land into fertile ground and what was once emptiness into overflowing abundance. There are seasons when God does not just add to your life, God restructures it. God does not simply upgrade your finances. God elevates your entire identity, your confidence, your vision, and your capacity to receive. And I need you to understand this. Before God releases abundance around you, God releases abundance within you. You are becoming the vessel that can hold more. You are becoming the person who can manage more. You are becoming the steward who can multiply what is placed in your hands. God's financial blessing begins in your spirit long before it reaches your account. Right now, God is reshaping the way you think about resources. God is removing the fear that made you shrink, the doubt that made you hesitate, the hesitation that made you miss opportunities, and the insecurity that made you question your worthiness to receive. You were never meant to live with a mindset of scarcity. Scarcity does not come from God. Scarcity comes from wounds, experiences, disappointments, and moments where life made you feel like you had to fight just to survive. But God is replacing that psychology with a mindset of faith. God is rewiring your thinking to understand that provision is not earned through fear. It is received through trust. God is not limited by the same boundaries that limit people. God is not contained by the economic systems that contain the world. God is not restricted by the seasons that restrict the environment. God can create abundance in the darkest moments, in the lowest places, in the most unexpected circumstances. You may not realize this, but everything you have walked through financially has been part of a training process. God was teaching you not to rely on temporary supply, but on eternal source. People can support you today and disappear tomorrow. Income can rise one season and fall in another. Opportunities can come with excitement and fade without warning. But God remains, God stays, God sustains. When you anchor your trust in God, you do not crumble when conditions shift. You do not break when circumstances tighten. You do not panic when numbers dip. You stand firm because you know that God is not governed by numbers. God is governed by promise. And a promise from God is stronger than any bank account, any financial report, any economic forecast, and any projection spoken over your life. Some of you have been living in survival mode for so long that you forgot what it feels like to breathe freely. You forgot what it feels like to rest without worrying about what tomorrow will demand. You forgot what it feels like to imagine a future that is not defined by limitation. You forgot what it feels like to dream without calculating if you can afford it. But let me tell you, God is about to restore that freedom. God is about to give you financial space. God is about to give you room to breathe again. God is about to give you margin, capacity, and overflow. When God reloads your bank account, God does not restore you to where you used to be. God moves you into a higher level that reflects your endurance, your faith, and your growth. And understand this deeply. When God decides to elevate your finances, the purpose is larger than comfort. God's provision comes with intention. God blesses you because there are things God wants to accomplish through you. You are not being lifted just so you can enjoy comfort. You are being lifted so you can fulfill a divine assignment. There are places you are meant to go, responsibilities you are meant to carry, people you are meant to support, visions you are meant to fund, and missions you are meant to bring to life. Money in your life is not just a tool for survival. It is a tool for destiny. It is a tool for expansion. It is a tool for impact. It is a tool for influence. God is not blessing you randomly. God is blessing you purposefully. There is a transformation happening inside you that you may not fully perceive yet. God is strengthening your spirit so that when the financial blessing arrives, you won't collapse under its weight. Many people pray for increase but lack the character to manage it. They desire promotion but do not have the discipline to sustain it. They ask for abundance, yet their mindset cannot handle the responsibility that abundance requires. But you have been through refining. You have been through stretching. You have been through seasons where you learn to be faithful with little. And because of that, you are being entrusted with more. God saw the quiet moments when you chose integrity over convenience. God saw the days when you gave generously even when you barely had enough for yourself. God saw how you stayed humble when life tempted you to become bitter. And God is now responding to that silent obedience. Many people don't realize this, but obedience is currency in the spiritual realm. Faith is currency. Patience is currency. Sacrifice is currency. Endurance is currency. These invisible currencies pull divine provision toward you. You may think you don't deserve a financial breakthrough because you look at your career, your skills, or your past decisions. But God does not evaluate your future based on your failures. God evaluates your future based on your heart. And your heart has remained sincere even in scarcity. Your heart has remained trusting even in uncertainty. Your heart has remained open even when your circumstances tried to shut it down. That is why God is preparing to elevate you financially. Not because you earned it with perfection, but because you honor God with sincerity. When God reintroduces abundance into your life, it will not come with confusion. It will come with clarity. It will come with peace. It will come with discernment. You will know exactly where to direct it, exactly where to sow it, exactly where to invest it, exactly where to avoid placing it. God is not simply sending money. God is sending wisdom alongside the money. God is sending clarity alongside the open doors. God is sending discernment alongside the opportunities. What good is financial overflow without the wisdom to manage it? What good is abundance without direction? What good is increase without understanding? That is why God prepares your spirit before God prepares your accounts. You may begin to notice that certain ideas start rising in your mind in the coming days. These are not random thoughts. They are spiritual signals. God is planting ideas that will produce increase. God is awakening creativity you did not know was inside you. God is reminding you of dreams you buried because you thought you could no longer afford them. God is stirring new pathways, new collaborations, new strategies, new insights. Pay attention. When God prepares to shift your financial reality, one of the first signs is spiritual ideas. Ideas that feel too big for your current income, but perfectly aligned with your future abundance. Ideas that make your heart race. Ideas that feel like destiny knocking on your door. And hear this, when God releases financial blessing, it will not require you to compromise who you are. You will not have to beg. You will not have to manipulate. You will not have to betray your principles. You will not have to sacrifice your integrity. You will not have to dilute your values. The opportunity that comes from God will come with peace. It will come with alignment. It will come with favor that feels effortless, because God is the one pushing it into your life. What is from God comes with rest, not chaos. And the financial increase that God is preparing for you will be marked by a sense of divine ease, not laziness, but alignment. Where your effort meets God's orchestration, success becomes unavoidable. You are stepping into a season where what used to be difficult will become manageable, and what used to be impossible will become achievable. You will look back at your earlier struggles and realize they were necessary chapters in your story. You needed those chapters to develop strength. You needed those chapters to develop humility. You needed those chapters to learn how to rely on God rather than relying on circumstance. Every delay trained your focus. Every setback sharpened your discernment. Every trial taught you the resilience you will need when abundance arrives. God was not punishing you. God was preparing you. And hear me clearly, your time of preparation is coming to an end, and your time of manifestation is beginning. God is not waiting anymore. God is moving. God is opening the windows of abundance. God is loosening what was tied up. God is multiplying what was stagnant. God is activating what was dormant. God is rebalancing what was uneven. God is lifting what was heavy. God is bringing breakthroughs that will feel sudden, but in reality, they were slow built through every moment of your faithfulness. You are about to experience a divine turnaround. Not a small comfort, not a temporary relief, a full-scale spiritual turnaround that transforms your financial reality from dryness to overflow. And when it happens, you will know with absolute certainty that it was God, because it will surpass anything you could have produced through your own limited strength. It will be bigger, deeper, wider, and more strategic than anything you could have planned. And there will come a moment very soon when you will look back on this exact season of your life and realize that everything God withheld, everything God delayed, everything God rearranged was preparing the foundation for a greater financial structure than you were ready to build before. When God blesses, God does not bless in fragments. God blesses in fullness. God ensures the ground is strong enough to hold the weight of what is coming. You may have questioned why certain opportunities collapsed, why certain connections drifted away, why certain plans didn't unfold the way you expected. But now you will begin to understand God was not closing doors to limit you. God was closing doors to protect you from entering rooms where your spirit, your finances, and your peace would have been compromised. God was redirecting you toward a more stable, more fruitful, more divinely aligned path. There is something sacred about endurance. When a person endures financial hardship, their spirit learns how to rise beyond numbers. Their identity detaches from their circumstances. They discover a part of themselves that cannot be shaken by lack. They learn how to depend on God in a way that becomes unbreakable. This is why you cannot minimize your journey. You cannot dismiss the nights you prayed with a trembling voice. You cannot forget the mornings you woke up wondering how you would get through the day. You cannot overlook the decisions you made when your heart felt heavy and your resources were thin. Every moment of survival strengthened a spiritual muscle inside you. And now those muscles are about to carry abundance instead of burden. God is not blessing you because you are lucky. God is blessing you because you are ready. Ready in maturity, ready in wisdom, ready in discipline, ready in responsibility, ready in faith. The person you were 5 years ago, 3 years ago, or even 1 year ago would not have been able to manage what God is about to release. You would have mishandled it, wasted it, misdirected it, or shared it with people who did not deserve access to your blessing. God waited until your character caught up with your calling. God waited until your spirit reached a level where increase would not destroy you. God waited until you outgrew the version of yourself that could not handle elevation. And now elevation is coming because you have grown into the person who can sustain it. There is an energy in your life right now that is shifting. You may feel it. A sense of anticipation, a quiet inner confidence, a subtle knowing that something is approaching. That is not your imagination. That is spiritual alignment. When God begins to move resources in your direction, your spirit senses it before your eyes see it. You begin to feel a lifting, a breaking of internal resistance, a loosening of old fears. You begin to notice that conversations around you shift, opportunities start reappearing, and favor begins to circle your environment. These are early signs that God has already started the financial reloading process. Some of you will experience this in surprising ways. God may give you a sudden idea that solves a problem you've been battling for years. God may send a person into your life who becomes a connector to a life-changing opportunity. God may lead you to a decision that feels minor, but ends up producing massive results. God may open doors you didn't even know existed. And when it happens, it will feel as though every step was designed long before you arrived, because it was. God's orchestration is perfect. God's timing is impeccable. God's precision is miraculous. Do not be surprised if God removes certain people from your financial journey in this next season. Not because you are meant to walk alone, but because you are meant to walk wisely. Some people are not equipped to handle the version of you that is emerging. They cannot celebrate your abundance because their hearts are anchored in jealousy or insecurity. They cannot support your elevation because your growth exposes their comfort with stagnation. They cannot walk into your new season because they are still tied to old cycles. So God will separate you, not to isolate you, but to protect you. Blessing requires boundary. Abundance requires discernment. Elevation requires clarity about who can and cannot accompany you into the next dimension of your life. And as God prepares to increase your finances, God is also increasing your inner stability. Wealth without emotional stability becomes a trap. Blessing without spiritual grounding becomes a burden. Increase without identity becomes a battlefield. But you are not stepping into abundance as a fragile soul. You are stepping into abundance as a strengthened spirit. You are stepping into increase with the maturity that lack built into you. You are stepping into overflow with the resilience that hardship sharpened in you. You are stepping into financial freedom with the wisdom that scarcity forced you to learn. There is a moment known only to God when a person's season shifts. It does not announce itself loudly. It does not come with fanfare. It begins in the unseen realm and gradually manifests in the physical world. That moment is approaching you. You have been walking through what felt like an endless tunnel, and now the first rays of light are breaking through. You have been carrying the weight of responsibility, and now God is sending reinforcement. You have been pushing through barriers that felt immovable, and now God is about to make those barriers dissolve with a single act of divine intervention. You must understand this spiritual truth. When God releases financial blessing, it is rarely a random occurrence. It is usually the manifestation of seeds you planted long before. Seeds of perseverance, seeds of faith, seeds of sacrifice, seeds of trust, seeds of integrity, seeds of patience, seeds that you forgot about but God didn't. Every tear you shed in silence watered the seed. Every time you chose righteousness over shortcuts watered a seed. Every time you gave without expecting anything in return watered the seed. Every moment you trusted God when circumstances looked impossible watered the seed. And now those seeds are breaking through the ground. The harvest always comes later than the planting, but it always comes. And your harvest is on the way. And hear this with the full force of your spirit. God is not about to simply refill what was emptied. God is about to exceed what was emptied. God is about to multiply what was lost. God is about to restore what seemed gone forever. When God reloads your bank account, it is not a withdrawal replacement. It is a divine overflow that pushes you into a new dimension of security, stability, and freedom. You will begin to experience financial flow where there was once stagnation. You will begin to experience opportunities where there were once obstacles. You will begin to experience clarity where there was once confusion. You will begin to experience elevation where there was once limitation. You will begin to experience favor where there was once frustration, because what God is doing in your life now is not small. It is significant. It is transformative. It is destiny defining. So now, hear this with unwavering certainty. God is faithful, God is just, and God is actively orchestrating every detail of your life for your good. The season of lack, delay, and uncertainty is coming to a close. Your bank account, your opportunities, your financial reality are about to be reloaded, not by chance, not by luck, but by the perfect intentional hand of God. Everything you have endured, the long nights of worry, the days of struggle, the moments when it felt as if the weight of the world was on your shoulders, were not wasted. They were refining you, preparing you, positioning you for the breakthrough that is now at your doorstep. Rise in unwavering faith. Expect the unexpected. Step boldly into the overflow that God has promised, knowing that every provision is designed for your growth, your purpose, and your destiny. Receive it with gratitude. Manage it with wisdom and channel it toward the mission God has placed in your heart. Understand this, your breakthrough will not only change your life, it will impact the lives of others around you, amplify your influence, and glorify God's provision. The abundance that is coming is not temporary, it is transformative, it is powerful, it is deliberate. Your blessing is here. Your breakthrough is imminent. And God, in His perfect timing and infinite wisdom, is gloriously faithful to fulfill it. So now, hear this with absolute clarity and deep conviction. God is faithful beyond measure. God is just in all His ways. And God is meticulously orchestrating every detail of your life for your ultimate good. The season of struggle, scarcity, and delay is drawing to a close. Your bank account, your opportunities, your financial reality are about to be reloaded, not by coincidence, not by luck, not by human effort, but by the sovereign, deliberate hand of God. Every hardship you have faced, every sleepless night, every moment of anxiety, every tear you shed in silence, every disappointment, every time you were overlooked or undervalued, they were all part of God's divine preparation. God was not absent. God was positioning you. God was not punishing. God was perfecting you. And now the time for breakthrough has arrived. Rise in unshakable faith. Expect the unexpected. Step boldly into the overflow that God has promised, knowing that this is not a random blessing, it is a strategic release that aligns with your purpose, your calling, and the assignment God has placed in your life. Receive it with gratitude, manage it with wisdom, and use it to amplify your impact and fulfill the mission that only you can accomplish. The abundance that is coming will not just solve temporary needs. It will transform your lifestyle, elevate your influence, and expand your capacity to bless others. Your provision is both personal and prophetic. Do not underestimate what God is about to do. What you have prayed for, what you have believed for, what you have patiently endured, God is now bringing it into manifestation in ways that exceed your imagination. Doors that seem permanently closed are swinging open. Opportunities that felt impossible are aligning perfectly. Resources that were once out of reach are now flowing directly into your life. This is a divine reloading, a supernatural refilling, a manifestation of God's perfect timing and divine favor. Stand ready to receive it with faith. Guard your heart, embrace wisdom, and walk in integrity, for God's blessings always accompany responsibility and discernment. The breakthrough is not just about money. It is about restoration. It is about purpose. It is about the elevation of your life to a level that matches your faith, your perseverance, and your destiny. Know this, your season of waiting is over. Your season of provision is here. Your bank account, your opportunities, your destiny are about to be reloaded with God's abundance, and the world will witness the testimony of what happens when God moves on behalf of a faithful life. Rejoice, prepare, and position yourself, because God's faithfulness never fails. God's timing is perfect, and the best is now coming to you.